Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now our group will present one of the topic in MGT 162, which is chapter 10, Management from Islamic Perspective. Now I will give you guys the introduction of Islamic management. Islam is a complete way of life, and Allah's guidance extends into all areas of our lives. The principles of Islam aim to establish a just society wherein everyone behaves responsibly and honestly. So, when we follow the principles of Islam, undesirable things such as untrustworthiness and fraud can be avoided. Next, the function of Islam is to allow people to become aware of the parameters of human behavior as individuals of society. This means when we want to do something, we need to think about the impact of the action on other people, such as friends, family, society, country, and others. Don't ever do things on a whim without thinking about the consequences. Why? Because it is for the sake of living in harmony and happiness in this transitory world and the hereafter. So the definition of Islamic management is the ability to utilize human capital and material resources such as money, wood, metal, plastic and others optimally to achieve desired goals for both short-term and long-term goals. Islamic management perspective is practical ever since the era of Prophet Muhammad. It also gives us detailed regulation on how to go about our economic lifestyle, which are both balanced and fair. So in Islam, it is allowed to do business to make a profit, but it is not allowed to go too far. For example, you sell cheap goods at high price. That is not allowed in Islam. This type of management follows the teachings of Islam by Prophet Muhammad directly, which is generated from the Al-Quran and As-Sunnah. So as you guys know, in Islam, we only have two guides that we should follow. It is Al-Quran and As-Sunnah.
Next, we will get to know 10 principles of Islamic management. According to Mohammed Abdul Rauf, 1987, Islamic management adheres to the following principles. Firstly, time is to be well invested. Time should be treated as gold and should be properly invested, not wasted or abused. It requires us to use the time efficiently by diligently doing work tasks, never playing around, and engaging in meaningful conversation. Secondly, uphold and internalize the Islamic ethical values. Islam teaches Muslims to cultivate, uphold, and practice Islamic ethical values of truthfulness, honesty, dedication, self-discipline, patience, and fear of Allah. Allah forbids usury, thus Muslims should avoid dealing in interest, which is riba. Thirdly, there should be no bias and discrimination, where leaders must be fair to all employees as every employee has a significant role to play in relation to an organization's success. Favoritism, discrimination based on family ties or personal beliefs should be avoided. Other than that, employees must be paid sufficiently, fairly, and promptly. A leader should treat employees appropriately and individually based on circumstance and contribution. After that, Ashura, which is consultation based on mutual discussions and cooperation among members. Frequent exchange of views and mutual consultations among leaders and employees lead to a better decision making. Next, the religious value of work that should be integrated into the work. Working is not merely a means for material gains, but also a moral obligation and a measure of pleasing Allah and getting nearer to Him. Then there should be conducive rewards for exceptional achievement to prevent violations. Exceptionally successful employees should be rewarded accordingly, while violation, indiscipline, misbehavior, or poor performance will not be tolerable, and disciplinary measures will be taken. Moving to the next one, human nature and needs should be considered simultaneously. Psychological and economic needs of employees have to be met, so leaders need to provide a conducive and healthy working environment in the workplace. Working hours must be reasonable and not exhausting. Thus, salary must be fair with employees' qualifications and contribution. Next, self-criticism should be exercised. Each employee at all levels should review their work periodically and analyze their actions and attitudes. They could investigate how tasks can be efficiently improved. Lastly, integrate both short-term work goals and long-term hereafter goals. Muslims are taught to be balanced in pursuing both goals, as one cannot be too obsessed to achieve long-term goals and forget about the short-term goals. Islam believes that humans' actions and endeavors must be integrated, both short-term and long-term goals. That's all for principles of Islamic management.
Now we move to characteristics of Islamic leaders. The first one is allegiance to Allah. Leaders must have strong and true faith and belief in Allah. Iman comprises a strong Islamic base for directing, educating, and influencing man's behavior in his life. A leader who has firm faith in Allah can lead an association, organization, or government in a better direction in various aspects. The second one is global perceived goals. Islamic leaders perceive organizational goals not only in terms of a group interest, but also in terms of wider Islamic objective. The third one is adherence to Sharia. Islamic leaders is expected to observe the principle of Sharia and display behaviors that conform to Islamic ways by referring to Al-Quran and As-Sunnah as guidance. This will make his subordinates follow in good footsteps and conform to the Islamic ways. The last one is delegate trust. Islamic leadership is a position entrusted with divine trust. Hence, Islamic leaders must carry out duties with the highest degree of responsibility. This is so that community of other religions will look up to the leadership of Muslims.
Principle of Islamic leader. First, Shura. Shura is the first principle. Al-Quran has made clear that Muslim leaders are obligated to consult those with knowledge and those who would provide good advice. Second is freedom. Muslim leaders are encouraged to provide for and even invite constructive criticism. Third is Mashru'iyah. This is the concept legality whereby the management has to ensure that any action taken must be within the legal boundary of common laws and the Sharia laws. Fourth, the qualifications. This principle looks at the importance of selecting the right management personnel. It should be based on two main elements, uwah, strength, and amanah, trustworthy. Second last, reward. Managers must be fair in any actions and reward people accordingly. Employees who perform their tasks or responsibilities well should be given reward. Last is justice. Leaders should deal with people justly and fairly regardless of race, color, religion, or national. Al-Quran commands Muslims to be fair even when dealing with people who oppose.
Hi, so now we're at another subtopic for Islamic management, which is function of Islamic management. As you can see, there are four basic functions in Islamic management, which is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So now I will explain all of these functions. So at first, we have planning. Planning is a practice which is prevalent since the era of Prophet Nabi Muhammad SAW while preaching the faith of Islam to the world. Islam practices the planning process in terms of setting objectives or goals. According to Islam, human beings, which is Khalifah, were created by Allah to focus on and fulfill the two purposes, which is long-term goals and short-term goals. Long-term goals is being worthy servants of Allah, avoiding sins and obeying the teachings of the Quran and As-Sunnah. Short-term goals is being productive in terms of products and service, academics achievements, financial profits, or improvement in performance. Next, we have organizing. Organizing comprises the structuring of an organizational structure, utilizing of resources, authority, and power, delegating as well as decentralization. Nowadays, many organizing processes follow the type of organizational structure which exists during the time of Prophet Nabi Muhammad SAW. Next, we have leading. Islamic perspective define leading as the process of moving people in a direction through motivating them. According to Islam, the leader serves and helps others to get ahead. At last, we have controlling. In Islam, the basis of for control may differ from the conventional approach. Mechanisms such as internal or external controls, business or personal controls, social or legal controls must not violate the basic principle of Sharia. Ha. So that's all from our group, I guess. So for this topic, thank you for listening. Yet you have any question, just ask. And yeah, bye bye.